All right, I have a couple project updates tonight for the Vale area and for this part of the county. First of all, I've been asked a few times about the signals at Rita, Kolb, and Wilmot. We very recently got in the word that the poles are finally about to come this way. We expect them to be delivered in June. So you'll see work to get all those signals up, the remaining signals at Rita, which is the north side. We did find a spare pole for the south side, Wilmot and Kolb. So those will be in, you'll see work starting up again in June in that area. Speaking of signals, the Houghton Road signal, I just wanted to mention that with the fair and construction, we're aware of the greater amount of congestion in that area. We've made some adjustments out there and fixed some issues with detection. However, it's not going to be great because of the situation, and we acknowledge that, and we appreciate your patience in that area, which leads to the ultimate fix for that area, the Houghton Road Interchange project. It's still in the design phase, and we expect the project to begin around the first half for sure of next year. That'll be reconstructing the I-10 Houghton Road interchange to be a diverging diamond interchange with 3 lanes in each direction over I-10 to connect with the project to the north that you see occurring right now. If you'd like more information about that project in particular, the city has kindly invited us to a Houghton Road corridor meeting, which I believe is May 16th. You'll see information about that from the city, but they've were nice to invite us to that, and we'll be attending to share the latest layout and help answer questions you may have about that project. And just a reminder on that one, it'll be constructed largely offline, and by that we mean the existing Houghton Road bridge and ramps will remain accessible to the greatest extent possible while we're building the new larger bridge right adjacent to the existing bridge. And while we're on the topic of bridges, we do have a project that is going to be affecting this area starting probably in June. It's 2 bridge deck replacement projects at State Route 83 and the Colossal Cave Wentworth bridges. Both those bridges need to be redecked. And so the work is scheduled to start, we're thinking June, we're on track for June. And they'll be done half at a time. So let me say that they'll be done one at a time, half at a time. So there'll be one bridge under construction, and it'll be open to 1 lane with a signal directing traffic across that bridge. The other bridge will remain bidirectional or normal during that work. So 1 bridge at a time. It's looking like we'll be starting with the State Route 83 bridge, doing 1 half, then the other half, then going over to the Wentworth Colossal Cave Bridge, doing 1 half, then the other half. Lucretia also asked me to mention a bit about the Sonoran Corridor. I do have a handout on that I can leave here as well, but the Sonoran Corridor is the study project to potentially connect I-19 and I-10 south of the airport area. Right now we're in a Tier 1 study, which means that we're just looking at corridor options at this time. I would encourage you to go to the website for that study. It'll be on the handout here. The most recent document on there is a corridor selection report, is what it's called. And it shows 2 potential connections to I-10 at Houghton or Rita, and 2 potential connections at I-19 at El Toro and San Javier. We are expecting to have a public hearing on the Sonoran Corridor project in late 2019 or early 2020. And the next step, if one of the build options is chosen, there's always an option for a no-build alternative, but if one of the build options is chosen, then we go on to what's called a Tier 2 study, which narrows that corridor down to I guess you'd say a thinner line. And as long as we're 2 other quick study notes, later this summer we expect to have a public hearing on the I-10 State Route 210 study, which is the potential study to look at widening I-10 from I-19 out to Kolb and also connect State Route 210 with I-10 at Alvernon. So we're looking at that in the late summer. And you've probably seen on the news lately the I-11. We have public hearings going on starting next week on I-11. There's one in Casa Grande, one in Marana, one in Tucson, and one in Nogales in this general region. So those are the updates I have for tonight.
Vickers. I live in Corona de Tucson in a development off of Salvita Road between Harrison and actually west of Harrison. I've been to our working group and have talked to Steve Christie about the truck traffic on Salvita Road. It gets worse every single day because trucks use it as a quick cutover from I-10 down 83 to Salvita Road and then across Salvita Road to I-19. This proposed, this is how it's described in the Arizona Star, as the proposed Interstate 11 route, shows an entrance to I-11 just south of Salvita Road. That will increase the truck traffic that we're seeing now. I recently got a new car, a RAV4 hybrid, and I'm bouncing all over the damn road because of the grooves that these trucks are making. We've lived in other parts of the country where there's weight limits on roads like Salvita Road, and those weight limits are posted and they're enforced by county law enforcement. And I would like to see that happen on Salvita Road. That road cannot take the truck traffic it has now, and if any of these proposals for I-11 go through, the road will be a disaster for the local residents. Right now it's potholed, it's a mess. I challenge any of you to take a car down there, with all-terrain tires and not bounce all over the place like you're on a dirt road out in the BLM land.
I guess with regard to I-11, we are in a comment period right now, so we would encourage you to share your comments regarding the I-11. There's a website, it's i11study.com. With regard to Sahuarita Road, it's not a state facility, so I don't know what to say exactly on that regard.
I've been told by Supervisor Christie, I believe at one of the meetings, that weight limits on county roads is a state responsibility, not a county responsibility. So until you determine what the weight limit is and put signs up, county law enforcement can't enforce it.
Okay, can I, after the meeting here, could I get your name and so I can reach out to you and we can, okay, thank you.
We would want you to reach out to all of us, so go ahead and send any information to me and I'll make sure that everybody winds up getting it.
Mike Romanet, Tucson resident. You brought up the Sonoran Corridor, potential interchanges, Houghton or Rita Road. How would that affect the Houghton overpass that you guys are talking about building? If you guys choose Houghton, would that be delayed?
No, there would be no, basically the Sonoran Corridor study is, as I mentioned, a tier 1 study, so it's the initial study to get a 2,000-foot alignment if a build option is chosen. At that point, it would go on to a tier 2 study, which is another study period to narrow that down and determine what an exact path would be. And then at that point, then there would have to be funding identified and before anything would be constructed.
So it wouldn't affect the bridge?
So
then.
no,
Okay.
It won't affect the Houghton Road interchange project at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions for Jeremiah? Okay, thank you. Still hang around. Okay, Jim.